Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video and happy winter solstice. Today we have a winter solstice and it's a time of the longest night of the year. Winter solstice also marks the first day of astronomical winter, and in many ancient cultures it was celebrated as a process of rebirth, moment of rebirth. So it's a time to transform pain into a process. It's a time to transform misery into a mission with a greater purpose. So remind yourself right now that what you've been through is not who you are. What you've been through is not who you are. And you are right now where you are to decide what will you do with what you've been through. So it's a moment of a phoenix rising from the ashes, and it's actually an important moment because we are entering into a phase where we need to decide what will we do with everything we know right now. And the whole 2022 brought us many reasons to worry, many reasons to be afraid, and many reasons to lose faith and belief into ourselves. So we need to recognize how to overcome that, right? To prepare for the next chapter. We are moving upwards on this spiral motion of transition and transformation into more self-aware beings. But in order to become more self-aware, we need to act like it, right? We don't just say, well, I'm more aware, but not recognizing our shadows and not recognizing what makes us who we are. So it's a great reminder right now to fully recognize what makes you worry so much about the future and about yourself and everything you're moving through. Because it's not the circumstances that are the reasons that you're worrying, but your beliefs, your ideas, the way that reality was presented to you. And the universe works in interesting ways. You always get more of what you're looking for, right? And if you're looking more for reasons that will bring you more worries, you will always find more reasons for that. So I always want to remind you that there are tools to overcome something. And when we have the right tools, the question is, are we willing to apply them? Are we truly willing to work on ourselves and upgrade our understanding of something we didn't understand before? And we are only afraid of the things we don't understand. So when we expand our understanding, we decrease fear. And when we decrease fear, we increase faith. And when we increase faith, we start believing into what's possible rather than what can go wrong. So this is something truly powerful we need to remind ourselves. So how can we, if we are right now deciding for the future, how can we live a life with less worries? And once we understand a little bit better how our mind works, your mind is giving you ideas, usually giving you signals that are received from your body. And body may be afraid, it may be in a certain emotional reaction, it may be exposed to certain toxicity through whatever. And you may receive signals from it, like you may feel bad, you may feel afraid, you may experience some painful memories from the past, and it may trigger a lot of worries. And that's what blocks so many people from doing what they want to do. And how to cut the worry off, or how to decrease it? Well, the thing is that mind always awakens many thoughts at the same time. And when we experience so many thoughts at the same time, we'll feel like we can't stop that process of worrying, that process of emotional reaction. But if we actually pause a little bit and we ask ourselves, what can I do right now? What are my responsibilities right now? What can I do with all those thoughts? And you write them down and you recognize that in front of you is suddenly a list of ideas of what you're thinking about that you should do. And because you know you can't do everything at the same time, you fall into a worry. You may have problems with money, problems with health, problems with relationships or criticism or whatever. And it doesn't mean that those things are making you worry. It's because you don't know how to resolve it. You don't know how to deal with that because you've never been through it, or you've never overcome that state. And that's okay. The point is that we find the tools that can help us to overcome it. And that's the phoenix, right? The birth of a phoenix. So when you start looking at the things you can do, like one task at a time, you will recognize that it will decrease your state of worry so much. One task at a time. When you recognize, well, okay, right now I could make a plan for my finances. If you have a consistent stream of money, maybe you're just not investing it right or not spending it right. Depends on what's your situation. But there's many ideas your brain is sending to you. Many ideas your mind is presenting to you. But you're focusing on that idea. My life is bad. I'm worried. Everything is going wrong. And you've started to believe that so much that you don't even take time to look at the depths of those ideas, from what kind of thoughts those ideas are made of. Because it's important to recognize that when you slow down your brain, you will start to see your mind in a slow motion. Which means that thoughts that are running in your mind, like that monkey mind that is constantly active, you can slow it down. You know, like in the Matrix, when Neo slows down the reality and he can jump between the bullets, you can do it in your mind when you slow down your brain. And there's a meditation backed up through science that works really well when you, for example, calm down your tongue, relax it into the floor of the mouth. You slow down your breathing and you focus on the empty space within your body. Your brain will naturally go from beta brainwave frequency into an alpha brainwave frequency, and if you stay present with yourself, your brain will fall into a theta brainwave frequency, which is a state of hypnosis. And in that state, you can observe your thoughts without reacting to it, and suddenly you see the truth behind ideas, the truth behind beliefs, the truth behind your thoughts. And that's where you notice that there are steps you can do. You've been blinded by so many different emotional reactions, but behind all of that happening, there's a simple steps. There are simple steps you can take. And all you need to do is to become aware of them. Just become aware of them. And write them down so you will remember them. Remember one task at a time. One task at a time. Every single day, do one task at a time. And you will notice that your life will become much more calm, and suddenly you will stop worrying so much about what's going on. And that's really powerful. And from that point, we ask ourselves, how can I believe into myself so I can make happen what I want to experience in my life? So I can evolve my gifts, so I can become who I need to be, who I feel deep inside my heart that I need to be. How can I believe into myself when nobody else believes in me? And it's all a question of attention. Where we place our attention, that's what we start feeding, right? And it also starts feeding us. So ask yourself how you want to invest your life for this next chapter of your life. Think about your faith or your energy as a spiritual money, how you're investing it. When you're reading a book, you're investing your energy into some new knowledge, and new knowledge is feeding you with ideas of what to do in your life, what kind of actions to take to experience new results, to make new experiences. And that's how we are learning and growing. If you're not growing, it means that you're not learning new things. And if you're not learning new things, it means that you're running in a circle. And if you're running in a circle, it may feel like you're being stuck. So if you want to unstuck, you need to start learning something that inspires you, something that provides you a sense of motion, a sense of flow, a sense of growth, a sense of excitement, like, childlike curiosity for something new. Because life is so big, so wide, so expanded. And we're living in that small box, limited by the walls around it. And we need to learn to unlimit ourselves, to step outside of that box. And again, that's the act of the phoenix, right? Rising from the ashes, unlimiting itself, burning down the walls and experiencing the freedom that life is offering to it. And in order to do that, you need to decide to do that, right? And often people don't decide. They decide to grab a phone and distract themselves. But we are living in a time that if we look into the future right now, we can see two kinds of different people. We can see people who are like puppets of environment. People who are constantly being distracted and receiving rules and ideas what they need to do with their lives by their environment, by social media, by technology and all of that. And then there's another group of people who know themselves. Those are the people who are indistractable. Those are the people who don't let themselves to be distracted by something that's coming from external forces. Not that they are ignoring the reality, they are learning from it, but they are listening their heart. They are listening their inner voice, not emotions. Emotions are important signals that are indicating to us what's bothering us, what we need to work on. But the heart is saying to us what we need to do. It's the inner compass that we all have within. And more you know yourself, more you're in tune with that inner compass. And to know yourself means that you detach from false labels of who you are not. And it requires a lot of self-reflection, deep introspection to recognize that. And every single day I'm reminding you of that. Sometimes those are the things we know that we needed to hear, and sometimes those are the things we didn't want to hear. Sometimes we just like to hear that everything will be good, right? Everything beautiful is coming towards you. But sometimes we need to go through the darkness to find the light that was always within us, but we had no idea how to tap into it. And I've been through it in the past. What we call the dark night of the soul, we need to move through it to recognize how strong and incredible we are. And for many people who were staying in the comfort zone, they've started experiencing the dark night of the soul in the last 2 years. And it's so interesting when we are receiving emails from many of you guys. So many people are writing to us that they started waking up 2 years ago or in the last 2 years. Because not just that this COVID and everything that was going on, but suddenly information started coming out from so many different sources. Suddenly everything started speeding up, and it's impossible to ignore it. And everybody will react to it in a unique way. So suddenly we start questioning everything that's going on. And when we start questioning everything that's going on, we'll start to feel the direction towards certain information, certain knowledge, certain books, certain people, certain teachers, and so on. And suddenly we'll be exposed to something we've been never exposed before. And that's the initiation of a new awakening. And the question is what we do with that. And I think it's impossible to ignore that. I think it's impossible to say, well, I don't want to do anything right now. Because life is calling you to do something, and you know the calling. You know it because it's being more and more active within you. And most probably you can see people around you doing the same. Or you see people who just ignore everything. And those are the people who need different lessons than you. So you can't force anyone to do any of that. But you can be a voice for those who are willing to listen to you. And in order to be a voice, you need to find the voice within you. Because otherwise you will be just saying what you've heard and you don't know if it's real or not. And again, that's the act of a phoenix. Knowing yourself, going through rebirth and recognizing what's coming from your inner truth. What is really yours, right? What's your unique, authentic voice? And many people are finding it right now. So I find it as an interesting evolution to recognize how many people are tapping into inner strength, embodying the bravery and courage, and doing what, even if they feel afraid and they feel sabotaged and they feel like on emotional level it's not the right thing, deep inside their hearts they know that they need to do it. And many people are doing things like that, speaking up their truth, following their hearts, finding jobs that actually resonate with them. I've noticed just in my family, three family members are changing their jobs right now. And it's not a coincidence. Like they were not talking, hey, will you change a job and you will inspire me to change the job? They experienced a calling. They were unsatisfied at their previous job and they started looking up for a better solution. Like, for example, my sister just found her dream job because of that. She experienced a calling and she started looking back into her childhood, what she actually wanted to do with her life. And because she found out that that voice, I want to do that. I always wanted to do that. She found her dream job. And many people are moving through that kind of a transition right now. So pay attention to how you're sensing these times, these unique times, and see if there's still something you're ignoring, if there's still something you know that you need to do but you're not doing. Like there may be a sense of shame holding you back for you not speaking your honesty. And maybe that may be a reason that you're hurting in a relationship. And that relationship is present in your life to teach you to overcome that shame. And many of us don't recognize that. Relationships are the mirrors for us to reflect back to us what we need to work on. When there's a strong sense of shame, you will experience a signal, don't do that. Don't do that, it's not the right thing. But what's actually the truth is do it and overcome that voice. Overcome that signal of shame. Do it anyway. Do it in a compassionate way. Do it in a kind way. So you will not hurt yourself too much. You can move it slow. You can do it one task at a time, one word at a time, one action at a time. And just progress on that level of being more and more open and honest. That's how we're learning to breaking the chains of the past. Because most of those emotions are not ours. They're not ours. We've been trained to think and feel that way because of our environment. Because so many people are hurt, and hurt people, and we've been hurt. And that's why we still hold on to those emotions. And it's time to overcome that. Again, that's the act of the phoenix. So write things down right now. It's an important phase. Write things down. What is still holding you back? What is still not allowing you to be who you know that you can be? Write down emotions that you sense. In what kind of aspects of your life those emotions are more present? Maybe in relationships, maybe at your job, maybe when you're speaking with your boss or co-workers, maybe at your close relationships in your life, maybe your partner, and see what's still blocking you in order to be as authentic as you can be, as truthful as you can be. And just, when you acknowledge it, you become more aware of it. And that's where you will find a way to step onto another level of awareness. You can't change something you're not even aware of, and you can't let go of something you're not even aware of. You need to recognize, you need to question it. Like, why do I feel that? Is this helping me to become who am I meant to be? And if the answer is no, what could be a greater emotion that you could demonstrate in your life? What could be greater emotion that you could demonstrate? And you will find a way. You can set an intention and you will find a way. And the universe will guide you. There's no coincidences, my friends. Everything is as it needs to be. Everything is as it's meant to be. So trust the process. My friends, this is it for today. Of course, I'm sharing today with you painting of the Phoenix, which was actually painted on 21st of December in 2020. And you all know what it represents, right? So write in the comments below your story of a Phoenix. And I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Have a beautiful day. Stay magnificent, stay creative, and till next time, one love.